College students heading back to class this week, and Governor Kathy Hochul of New York is hoping to avoid another semester of pro-Palestinian, anti-Semitic protests on campus. You think? New York signing a new law requiring every campus in the state to appoint a Title VI anti-discrimination coordinator within the next year. The coordinator will investigate complaints and provide training modeled after their gender bias teams. Let's hope this works. This is an all-new report shows House Republicans are investigating UCLA, UCSF, the University of Illinois College of Medicine, all for failing to address anti-Semitism on their campuses last semester. And when it comes to the Trump administration's fight against colleges, they are refusing to back down.
Linda, how about it? And we want nothing less than $500 million from Harvard. Don't negotiate, Linda. They've been very bad. How are you doing with the colleges, by the way? You're doing some pretty good work in terms of getting them to treat people fairly.
Well, interestingly enough, since we've been negotiating with some of the Ivy League schools, I have presidents of universities calling every single week. They want to sit down and talk to us about all of the steps that they are taking, because they would like to not come under the same investigative program, and so it is having its desired effect.
That's great.
It all sounds good, and I'm sure Harvard's going to cave shortly. Joining us right now for more on the state of college campuses is the host of the Ben Shapiro podcast and author of the brand new book, Lions and Scavengers, The True Story of America, Ben Shapiro. Ben, I know we hope anti-Semitism's in our rearview mirror. What do you expect this year, knowing the schools, I don't care what they think, are going to have to literally pay a price if it gets out of control again?
I think that it's going to be significantly less bad this year, specifically because of the Trump administration. I mean, if you had gotten Kamala Harris, God forbid, then the protests would have been totally out of control, given the fact that the war in Gaza is ongoing and the fact that places like Colombia are in Zohran Mamdani's soon-to-be mayoralty. So, I think that the Trump administration saying that Title VI will, in fact, be enforced, that you guys are going to have to pay the price, the administration, if they don't do what they are supposed to do in quashing anti-Semitic college campus crimes. And here we're not talking about free speech issues. We're talking about discriminatory environments, preventing people from getting to class, violence, and all the rest. The Trump administration has been doing an excellent job here. I think you'll see a lot more colleges comply with the law.
It's unbelievable that we had Joe Biden just not say a word, and Chuck Schumer, a Jewish New Yorker, watched the rage at Columbia, NYU, City College, and not really say anything. How is that acceptable? He wrote a book about anti-Semitism.
It's disgraceful, but Schumer himself is a disgrace. His claims to be some sort of great fighter against anti-Semitism keep running up against reality, and he keeps coming up short.
I want you to bring you to this soundbite from last week. We had Noah Tishby on, and she says the problem's not just in college. It starts before that. Listen to this.
This is not starting out of nowhere in college campus. What has been going on is a severe indoctrination that is K through 12 all through our education system. We saw a lot of things that are extremely concerning. They're talking about oppressor and oppressed, putting everything through these paradigms, putting the Jews into the oppressor category, completely ignoring thousands of years of oppression against the Jewish people, completely ignoring history.
So that's more concerning than the colleges, because colleges, you make a choice. You're born a lot of times into your school because it's in your neighborhood. Is this a real threat in your mind?
It is, and I think that anti-Semitism in this context is merely sort of a symptom of a broader evil that you hear Noah sort of refer to in passing, which is this oppressor-oppressed matrix. The scavengers, as I call them, this sort of weird agglomeration of people, the queers for Palestine and the third worlders against capitalism and all this kind of stuff. All these people march together because they have decided that American society, Western society, Israel, all of these are indicative of a system that is oppressive and evil and exploitative, and it must be torn down to the ground. And the way you can tell if somebody is an oppressor is if they're successful. And the way that you can tell somebody is oppressed is if they are a failure. And by that logic, what you're going to get is what Frantz Fanon called the wretched of the earth, this kind of giant conglomeration of people who come together just to tear things down. And that's being built up not just in the K through 12 system. It's being built up on social media. It's being built up by foreign actors. It really is the great battle of our time intellectually.
Yeah, I just think it's up to parents. It's no longer sneaking up on you. Find out what your kids are studying. Ask to see their homework and their day work. I want to bring you to something else, and feel free to punt on this if you want. But the Washington Post broke down MAGA supporters into 5 categories: MAGA populists, traditional Republicans, I guess the George Bush, Mitt Romney types, small government conservatives and fiscal hawks, more Mike Pence, religious right, that's Mike Pence too, the tech right, we're seeing that with a lot of the AI guys, and now the revitalized Silicon Valley, and the Maha guys, led by RFK, a traditional Democrat. Do you think there's some validity to those categories? And if so, where do you put yourself?
I do think there's some validity to those categories. I think they all have fuzzy edges. I mean, you can certainly consider yourself sort of a populist Republican who has traditional leanings in terms of actual policy. But obviously, there are wide gaps between sort of the libertarian tech bro types and the social conservatives. There are big gaps in terms of foreign policy between some of the more populist types and some of the more traditionalist types. I will say that it's a somewhat uneasy coalition from time to time.
Yes.
And I think that it's unified against the left. But I do think that President Trump, being extraordinarily pragmatic, has been able to bridge all those gaps. It is going to be fascinating to see which direction the Republican Party moves in any sort of post-Trump era, because there is no Trumpism. There really is only Trump. And so a lot of those issues are still very much up for grabs.
You know, like Washington, they said was the only one who could have kept everybody together. And when he left, we began breaking up into party politics. I'm not saying that Donald Trump's George Washington, but he might be the only one to be able to keep all five together. And the next man or woman is going to have a hard time with the lasso. We'll see. But you can't win without all of them, believe me. Leslie, real quick, I love what the president's doing on culture, celebrating America's 250th, and he's starting with the Smithsonian. Stop with the political correctness and start celebrating America. Are you comfortable with this?
I mean, I think it's wonderful. I think that the Smithsonian has shown itself to be, unfortunately, a tool of left-wing agitprop on too many occasions, and actually infusing, our national institutions with a pride in America would certainly be a valuable thing. The president is smart enough and savvy enough to understand that politics and culture, you can say that politics is downstream of culture, but really it's a cycle and they feed one another, and the president understands that. Yeah,
like he points out with the African American Museum. Yes, slavery's terrible, and we should definitely talk about segregation, but talk about how we overcame it and where we're at now. That's telling the American story, not ducking it. Ben Shapiro, congratulations on your success. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.